You'd be surprised what comes up in conversation when paleontologists spend long days in the field. Some of it is deep time in ancient ecosystems. Some of it is, well, trying to remember our fourth favorite hat. This is Fourth Favorite Hat, a look into real digsite chatter of the Montana Dinosaur Center. Each episode brings you the work, the stories, the arguments, the questions, and the odd tangents that emerge when you put scientists, shovels, fossils, and too much sun in the same place. And yes, every guest still has to answer the only question that really matters. What's your fourth favorite hat? Let's get started.
Hello, my name is Andy, and my fourth favorite hat is my Badlands of South Dakota dad cap.
I'm Brett, and my fourth favorite hat is my Lake Champlain Lake Monsters baseball hat.
Hello, I'm Bryce, and my fourth favorite hat is my wide-brimmed Denver Zoo hat.
And we are three of the paleontologists at the Montana Dinosaur Center. Welcome to Fourth Favorite Hat, a podcast where we talk about whatever. Today's podcast topic is a near and dear one to our heart. Some stories from our dig site called The Graveyard. Now, Brett and I have been working here for about 3 years at this time, while Bryce has only worked here for about 2 years, so keep in mind we have more stories and better stories than him because of that.
Very true.
I was expecting him to put up more of a fight, but he just kind of rolled over and showed me his belly, so alright.
Of course,
Now
you're
you just
senior.
look like now you kind of just look like a jerk.
No! He's made me seem like a jerk to Spotify people and other podcast streaming services.
Ha ha ha. My plan to just kind of, I don't know.
Anyways, so our dig site, Graveyard, as I mentioned, is out in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains on a cattle ranch. The rancher has been very kind to have us dig and encourage our scientific exploration. And it's a weird site. When doing so, I don't know how many E's to put into the word weird to display how weird it is. Brett, how many would you put in?
I would say about 4.
4? Bryce, would you agree with 4?
I don't know. Might even be like 5.
5?
Let's
5?
go with 4.5 E's.
Okay, 4.5 E's to describe how weird our dig site is. And because of that, we have a great deal of stories from our 3 years, if you're cool like Brett and I, and 2 years if you're a little less cool like Bryce. So,
Andy, why don't you
Yeah.
tell us one of your stories first? Because you said they were so much cooler than Bryce's.
But wait, before we get into it, maybe the listeners might be interested to know, why is it called the Graveyard?
Oh, that's a great question. It's actually called the Graveyard because
Bryce, if
there
you
are.
ever cut me off with a segue again, that's it. I am court-martialing you.
No, that was a good segue. But it's called the Graveyard actually because it has a very high abundance of fossils. We've been digging there for about 5 years now, and we've uncovered more than 2,000 fossils that have been cataloged and brought back to our museum, which is a large amount for a single dig site. Most dig sites tend to have, between 1 to 200 bones, typically.
So not only is it a high amount of different individuals, it's also a high amount of different species, what we call a multi-taxic bone bed. Now, where it kind of stops being a graveyard in the sense of how humans use the word, everyone's all kind of jumbled up there. Normally, us humans like to have distinct rows and sections where everybody's, body is by itself. We do not have that at the graveyard.
It's much more of a mass burial than it is neat individual graves.
Yeah, we should rename it to the charnel pit, but graveyard just rolls off the tongue better.
Just a tad.
Yeah, at the Graveyard you can find pieces of the same dinosaur literally like 50 feet apart, and you can find pieces of 2 different dinosaurs literally touching, so it's all kind of like somebody played Yahtzee with all the bones.
I was scheduling a post, and now you guys don't know when this was recorded, about a Fossil Friday for 2 bones I worked on, a adult hadrosaur rib and a juvenile hadrosaur radius. These 2 bones were held together by rock. At no point is that A, how the bones go in the body, or B, bones from the same animal.
And now, since this is also like a multi-tactic site, we also get some weird instances where bones from very different animals end up right next to each other. Just last year, there was a spot that we uncovered that actually had the 2 pubes. So that's going to be the front facing of the hip bones for 2 different hadrosaurs right next to each other within maybe about an inch of each other. And then just at the end of them was something that might end up being like a sort of ankylosaurid rib head. Things just really scattered all about.
Additionally, we think this is the way it is currently because of some sort of river system, but afterwards, everything was folded because of the Rocky Mountains pushing upwards. So we're digging into a hillside to get these jumbled fossils, and I'm gonna keep saying weird. Please know I mean it lovingly, but it's weird.
One of the ways this like differs from most traditional dig sites, most dig sites, as Andy kind of hinted at by the fact that the mountains kind of scrunched everything up, are kind of on these nice horizontal layers of strata, layers of rock. But in ours, the bone layer is actually kind of off kilter. It's closer to like 60 degrees or even steeper at some spots, so it can present some unique challenges for actually digging them up.
But because of the way our dig site is, and the fact that our museum offers a program where we bring guests out on educational expeditions, we have a whole host of fun stories about our dig sites. Some of them good, some of them bad, and some of them ugly. Now, Bryce, I know you're kind of out of date with movies. That was a movie reference.
Really?
Yeah.
Which movie?
Well, I don't know off the top of my head, but I know it's a movie reference.
Maybe it was The Godfather.
Part 2.
I heard that was a good one.
It was.
I reckon I'll start with probably my favorite story from the dig site. This is going to be related to fossil finding, because, shocker, we're paleontologists, we love fossils. Part of our work involved very systematically removing junipers. Do you remember that year, Brett, our first year of the Juniper War?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still continuing to this day. It's not really over.
It's not over, but it was the worst our first year.
Yeah.
As we were carefully removing junipers, because you don't want to go crazy and rip roots out. That's how you chunk up a fossil.
Why?
Huh?
Why would that chunk up a fossil, Andy?
It's a great question. But again, if you ever cut me off with a segue, you're getting court-martialed. Anyway, because fossils are porous, meaning they have holes in them, they can store water. They're also mineralized. So plant roots love to use fossils to get water as well as all sorts of different minerals. So a plant fossil, or a plant root, can actually burrow into a fossil or wrap around it, and if I then yank at that root, I can then pull it out and destroy the fossil entirely. So we had to move slowly with little clippers, brushing the dirt aside, and wouldn't you know, as I just brushed aside some random dirt, I found a juvenile hadrosaur tail vertebrae. It was really funny because that was a day where no one was really finding fossils, and I really want the guests to find the fossils more than me, and oh, the kids would not let me live it down. I had basically stolen all of their luck.
That's why I call him Andy the Luck Thief.
This is a really cool fossil, though. We could only do so much research with it because it was reincorporated into topsoil, meaning we've lost a lot of geologic data, but it was such a great teaching piece. And also, the kids were jokingly mad at me.
Was there enough of it left to kind of see if it was towards the front of the tail or the back of the tail?
A bit. I think it was closer to the front of the tail, but none of the fused vertebrae.
All right, so definitely not at the sacrum yet. That's for sure.
Correct. And I couldn't tell you which hadrosaur it was, other than it was juvenile. And again, juvenile bones are usually a little rarer than adult bones, and I had stolen that from the kids apparently.
Yeah, that's the kind of the twofer there, where juvenile bones are always kind of harder to tell because as animals get bigger, they change shape a decent amount sometimes. And also, it's a vertebra from the tail, one of the tail bones, and those aren't usually super diagnostic unless you're like one of a few kinds of duckbill.
Oh, I couldn't tell you which duckbill it was,
Oh yeah, for sure.
but it was neat.
Yes.
I mean, since you were talking about something you found, I'll start with my favorite bone that I found. One of the first things I found, this was like my first year working at the graveyard. This was actually probably like the third or fourth day I'd ever been out there. I was working and I ended up finding a dentary from a hadrosaur.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, it was. I was gonna say, it was one of my first days at the dig site. I remember Dustin was like, "Wow, that's a really great find," and I was like, "Yeah, that's crazy." Dustin, for reference, is the museum director now at the Dinosaur Center, and he's also the site manager of the graveyard. But he was like, "Yeah, well, what a great find." But it was pretty good, and it actually had most of its teeth in it still. We're currently working on it more. It has since been prepared and everything, and it's one of the pieces that's going to end up being diagnostic. We're working on that in our new paper.
I just remember that day getting a blister from hauling the wheelbarrow so many times.
That's sounds like my day was better than yours.
Yeah, I mean, I also remember the dentary.
Were the teeth still in it, or was it just like the grooves?
I think most of the teeth were still in it.
Pretty cool. I always like to see that.
Not most, but some.
Mm.
No, it was a super cool dentry. Or it is. We still have it.
Yeah, we still
Yeah.
have it.
It hasn't been like atomized or anything. Presumably.
You've seen it, Bryce, since then.
Yeah, that's true.
I
Unless,
was gonna say,
unless something happened to it like in the last month or so.
no, you've seen it. Yeah. I was gonna say, I think the teeth are still in it. Yeah, or some of them at least.
Well, last year there was a pretty fun thing that me and some guests were working on near the middle of the top portion of our site. There were like 3 bones that were kind of going down at the top, kind of near our data centrum. So the data centrum is where we use something called the total station to record where different bones we find are throughout the site using like little lasers shooting at like a mirror to get the XYZ coordinates and the slope. Anyways, so these 3 little bones we were like digging down, and it turned out they were actually the metatarsals or the foot bones from what looks to be a tyrannosaur. And what was cool about them was that since they were so close, they almost looked like they were almost articulated, which is something that's pretty rare for our site. Like you might remember that we were talking about how everything was scattered up. These ones weren't. So that was really exciting to see, even if it is not the most diagnostic bones to find.
You're gonna find out later they were actually from 2 different tyrannosaurs, and you only thought they were
That'd be kind of
articulated.
funny. Yeah, just 2 tyrannosaurs they were playing footsie.
Some real Frankenstein type articulation. Speaking of which, I really liked Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein movie.
Oh, how was it? I haven't seen it.
It was good. I think he was the right choice for like a gothic horror.
Yeah, I
You
was
know-
gonna say, I know he does. Doesn't he do like a lot of like horror-esque like directing?
Yeah, he does like Pan's Labyrinth, or like he did the 2 really good Hellboy movies, because like they just kind of let him run wild with all the little freaks in the background.
Didn't they the sequel to that come out more recently have like the Bride of Frankenstein in it too, or is that the same movie? I don't remember. I saw like a trailer for it at one point.
I think there's a new one coming out. I don't know if it's Del Toro's.
No, it's not Del Toro. It's coming out in like the spring sometime, and it's like It's who is it in it? It's I can't remember what actor's in it.
Movies do this all the time where like one property experiments with like or one person experiments with a public domain property, and then all of a sudden you get all the movies. Like Pinocchio, there was a bunch of Pinocchio movies all at once.
Yeah, there really were.
Yeah.
I think that had to do with wasn't that because like the copyright like domain ended or whatever?
Well, that's when you get like the inflooding of all the lazy horror movies like Screamboat Willie.
I
And
thought you
there
were
was
going with the
like,
Winnie the Pooh
Winnie the
ones.
Pooh one.
The
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh ones are just boring. Like that's the worst thing a horror movie can be.
I agree.
Yeah.
Speaking of horror, what are some of the bad stories of the dig site? I'll go first again because that's just the order we've established.
Sure.
The last day of my first year, or first field season there, at the museum, the dig site, it was also Dustin's birthday. And do you know what his birthday gift was?
What?
What was it, Andy?
2 grizz cubs popping out from behind a tree. Yeah, there were just 2 grizzly bear cubs about 75 yards away from us on the other side of a gully. You know, guests are like, oh, they're cute as can be. They were loudly screaming for Mama, and the scary thing wasn't that we could see Mama. No. The scary thing was that we couldn't see Mama. Need to establish is a bear is quicker than me, so we ushered the guests into the car and we left early for that day.
Yeah,
Probably
I
a
mean,
good move.
I wouldn't want to be around the dig site if there was bear cubs there and the mom is not to be sighted.
Yeah, things might have gotten grisly.
Ha!
For the,
I shouldn't have laughed at that. Now Bryce
He
is going to
is.
do it again.
I will.
and here's
I've
the
been
thing,
enabled
we're
now.
trained for like handling wildlife. The safest option was to leave.
Like around that time of year as well, all the grass is like 4 feet high.
Well, and for the most part, grizzly bears don't like our dig site. There's no food there for them. But if there's cubs around, that's a different story.
My I guess like worst day at the dig site. So this was back 2 years ago. It was in the spring in May before our dig site's like fully open to the public. We have a few days where we're basically getting it ready. We're taking off all of the topsoil and everything that we rebury the site with. We're just basically getting it ready, for the next year. And part of that is we're training new staff, how our dig site works, how we operate, like the total station, stuff like that. And one of those days, this was Bryce's first year, so Bryce was there getting trained. It was just like the weather was just the worst. It was like just above freezing, and it was like 50-mile-an-hour winds, and it was just horrible. I just remember it was just so cold and miserable, and like we're trying to teach people how to set up the total station, which is like it's the same thing that surveyors use. You always see them on like tripods if you ever walk by like a construction site, you probably see them.
Wind isn't great for it.
Yeah. So we're all trying to we're all like huddled around this like on the top of like a little like ridge, exposed as can be to all the wind, and we're trying to like balance it and everything and like show them how it all works. And it's just they're struggling to get it right because of all the wind, and it's also their first time doing
Yeah.
it, so they're really kind of in the double whammy. Everyone, and it took us so long, and it was just so cold and awful. I remember.
It almost made me feel bad about whipping them to do better.
Bryce, do you remember that day?
This is a pretty popularly known factor on the museum, at least, and I guess it'll be pretty popularly known here too. But I am very much a warm weather fellow. So it being that cold and windy makes me very, very sad. It cuts my productivity in half.
Bryce is actually cold-blooded.
There actually have been times where Dustin has actually formatted the schedule around that concept. I remember last year there was going to be a day where it was going to be a Monday where it was going to get like to 96 degrees, and originally Andy was supposed to be the guy for that. I don't know if Andy ever even got told the story.
I did not. I was unaware I got switcherooed.
And so Dustin comes up to me and was like, "Hey Bryce, you like the hot weather. Do you want to just do Monday? It's gonna be like 96." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do that."
Bryce, do you remember that time you had driven to the gym and we were driving back and you asked if I was like sweating in your car? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. He keeps his he had his heat up full blast.
It was well, no, here's the thing. And this time, I mean, this might be a different story actually. But we were coming back from doing trivia down in Great Falls.
Yeah.
It was something we do like every Tuesday. It was kind of like chilly-ish out. It was probably like in the mid 30s outside, maybe early 40s.
I have to interrupt to let everyone know we did win at trivia. We are the best.
We did.
Mhm.
Since it's that cold and there were so many people in the car, I had the heat only on the first setting, mind you. It wasn't even on a full blast on the windshield, so to prevent it from fogging up. It got a little bit warmer as like the night went on because I think there was some weird wind jazz going on that day, and those were just like kind of letting up. To me, it felt just kind of mildly warm, and I look over it like I like see like Andy in the back who he just looks like he's gonna like pass out from like heat exhaustion or something. I'm like, hey, Andy, are you okay? And he's like, no, it's like really hot in here. I'm like, you sure to get spoke out? He's like, nah, dude, it's your car. Like, yeah.
I didn't want to impose.
It was so mildly warm. It was probably like 70 degrees.
It was
It was
not.
definitely warmer than 70. It was probably like 85.
It felt like 70.
Bryce says as he sideways blinks and licks his eyes to keep him moist like the lizard he is. So anyways, Bryce, what's your the bad day out at the field?
I'm gonna pick a funny bad day because that's kind of fun. It was the last day, or maybe the second last day. I forget exactly.
The listeners are gonna tear you apart if you get it wrong.
They will, of this most recent year. And we were, doing the final stuff, getting the site winterized, which is basically just covering things in plastic that need to be, burying things in rubble that need to be, and like, taking out the last few jackets we can get and putting them in the car to take out. Now, since this year our total station kind of broke. Both of the ones that we had, kind of sad. So we had a construction crew from nearby come out to help us. They brought their new fancy high tech one that's
The Montana Department of Transportation.
yeah, like 25 years younger than the one that we have. So it's doing all sorts of this magic stuff, moving on its own.
It was like R2D2.
Really was.
It was probably sentient.
Dustin and I had drove off to go let them out of the gate so they could leave at the end of the time, and it was dry, nothing was really going on. And then as we were driving on our way back, it started the clouds start rolling in, and we're like, huh, that's a little strange. Okay, we start to crest the hill on the way to the area pretty close by, and then it just starts downpouring super super hard. As we crest the hill, we look over, we see Brett and one of our volunteers, Archie, just frantically scrambling to gather the jackets and the different tools from the thing so we can just immediately leave. The roads are all made of dirt, so if they get inundated with water, it could be kind of unsafe to drive out. So as we get up there, we all get out, we start just frantically putting everything in. The winds are picking up real heavy, the water just coming down, it's nearly raining sideways. So and we just drive on out, and in that short amount of time, maybe a matter of 5-10 minutes, the roads already started to get all slippery.
5 minutes. I was up there at the dig site. They leave. They're like, all right, we're gonna go let them out and everything. They're at the gate, helping them with the gate and everything. And literally a minute or two after they leave, we me and Archie's the volunteer with us. He's British.
In case you didn't know.
But me and him are there, and we look over, and we're like, oh, those clouds are looking kind of menacing. And then a minute or two later, we're looking at them again. They're all of a sudden on top of us, and they're and we're uh-oh. So we just frantically start like packing everything up, and then like it starts raining so hard. I've never seen it rain harder like anywhere in my life. It was going crazy, but we're like going crazy. We're like hoping they're gonna get back soon, and then we see them coming over the hill in the big van, and Bryce is like screaming at us. He's like, "Forget everything, go!" So we all are loading up. So we have everything. Me and Archie have everything like stacked up to go. It's like we just get out, we start tossing everything in the van like as fast as we can, and like by the time, and this probably only took like a matter of like 2 or 3 minutes. By the time we got in the car, it looked like we'd all just like gotten out of a swimming pool and we'd been covered in so much water. We were all drenched. It was crazy.
Yeah, I think I was
Uh.
working at the museum that day. Y'all didn't look happy when you came in.
I mean, it was kind of fun.
It was funny. It was a very funny time.
That's more of like that type. That's more of that type 2 fun. You know the 2 types of fun.
It's fun now or it'll be fun later, that one.
Yeah, it'll be fun later. Like it's at the time, it's not fun at all. But like looking back, it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of fun. Other than the fact that like we almost like slid off the road. That was not as fun.
And I guess that kind of segues into our other type, the ugly. Now, I think Brett might agree with me, and Bryce too. All three of us were out there this day about our ugly day.
Oh yeah, I know what you're gonna talk about. This is what I was
Me
gonna pick too. I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're gonna say.
The guests with us that day were lovely. There were only 2 of them, but it had been raining. With bentonite clay, Bryce mentioned the inundation. It swells and you sink. So we got the car stuck like immediately trying to go up the hill. So we had to hike up to our dig site, which normally isn't bad, but a side effect of my medicine is if I take it too early, I can have morning nausea, so I kind of walk by myself to retch constantly. But whatever, when it was out of my system, it was out of my system. We were digging. It was a little rough, the wetness kind of made
There was a few puddles in the dig site.
yeah, but we were still having a good
It was
time.
workable. Yeah.
And then Brett and I were like, we should try to get the car out. The guests, God bless them, they were in on the joke. We kept being like, hey, please don't beat up Bryce while we're gone. If you guys decided to overpower him, there's nothing he could do. And they were like, we'll try not to. And I'm like, if you get hungry, don't eat Bryce. And they were like, no promises. They were good sports about it. They even left us like postcards afterwards thanking us for the trip and our effort to get the car out.
Yeah, it took us about an hour and a half to get the car unstuck.
Yeah.
Me and Andy.
Yeah, honestly, it was starting to get to the point where I was wondering if I should like get the guests to, like go over there because they've been on for so long. I was like, well, I'm just out here, I guess. I mean, and like there are clouds that keep coming over and like light rain that keeps happening. I'm like, I don't know. It might be time to call it. I'm not too sure.
And I'm just like, Brett is driving, I'm pushing the car, and we get a little progress, and then it sinks into a new spot.
We're like trekking up the hill to like find rocks to like put so we can get traction under our wheels.
They pretty much had to get like every rock from the entire like hillside.
Yeah, there's now a collection of rocks in that part of the road that are like stuck in the mud.
Once we finally got it out, after an hour and a half of, I don't know what you want to call it, elbow grease and brute force and dumb luck.
Ingenuity.
Yeah. We got it out, and there was just a huge puddle of green underneath where our car was.
I mean, the road was tore up horribly for like weeks.
Yeah. So was I correct to predict that all y'all would say that as your ugly day too?
I mean, yeah, that was
what I was
not
gonna go
great.
for.
Yeah, alright. It's that type 2 fun. It's so much fun to talk about now, but like
That was like one of the last days the total station worked too.
yeah. I'm sure Brett heard me say some choice words.
Andy was not having a good time.
Oh yeah. They also had to after they got done, toiling the truck out of the mud. They had to hike.
Okay, we had to
back
hike back
the
up. We had to
too.
hike back up.
We took several breaks, and at one point, Brett, do you remember when fire ants crawled into my shirt and bit my love handles?
No,
I
That's
was
hilarious.
not pleased at that.
I found some fossils though, like on
Yeah,
the
I'm, sure,
hillside.
I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah, and that wasn't even type 2 fun for Andy.
That was type 3 fun. It was actually fun during it and after it for Andy.
I had a good time. Bryce had a good time. Andy didn't.
God, that was, I will say, that was a good one.
That day was something else.
It was one of the days of all time.
It sure was.
Of course, we really try to not get cars stuck.
If it rains enough, we just have to end up canceling, like, or
Yeah.
rescheduling people because it's just impossible. Like, that was a day or two after it had rained, and it was still that bad. Like, if we'd gone the day before, like, we couldn't have.
Mhm.
We wouldn't have made it out.
We told the guests ahead of time we may have to hike, and we were like, "Do you want to reschedule?" And they're like, "No, let's try it." And they were good sports the whole time. Do you remember this was Bryce's first year, the days leading up to opening, when we got snowed out and Dustin was just so sad.
Yes. It sucks to be in May getting snowed out and we can't go out to dig. I remember Dustin was so sad and we just ended up having to take them to, I mean, like the half day stuff. It was not like a big deal, but Dustin just wanted to go out and dig.
I still have that picture of sad Dustin. Yeah, he's not outwardly crying, but you can tell there's a
Pouting.
deep disappointment in him. Pulled it up. Oh, oh, poor buddy. But yeah, when we're working in the where we're at with the Rockies, the mountains will actually hide the weather from us, and when it finally crests the mountains, it hits hard and fast.
Yes. It can go from nothing, nice day, to like hailing in about a minute and a half. It can snow on us.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen it snow in every month of the year at our dig site.
The easiest way to say it is that winter comes early and leaves late in Montana.
Yeah, that's true.
But once you're in mountains, once you're in foothills, it's anybody's guess.
Yeah, our dig site's pretty high elevation. It's a bit more than a mile. Like the weather there is very unpredictable. I mean, it can be very nice, and then the next day it could be rainy, and then
I will say, I feel like we're painting an image of our dig site being this horrible weather space. There's so many nice, gorgeous days.
it only rains about 10 or 12 days in the summer, I would say, typically.
There are plenty of times where I take guests hiking up to a spot where there's some marine fossils, and more often than not, we just kind of sit there and take in the gorgeous view. However, those don't make for fun well, they make for fun moments, but not stories.
Yeah, I mean, most days it's just a great day. Like, tends to be like the wind tends to be pretty mild. The weather tends to be in like the 80s. Very good field work weather compared to like
It is.
Utah or like Arizona where it's hot. You're getting cooked, 100+ degree. It's never been 100 at our dig site when I've been there.
I also like that it's dry. I've done plenty of field work out in Wisconsin.
Oh,
I do not like humidity.
I'm from a desert, so I agree with that. Humidity is like evil.
Dry heat's a lot more fun.
hmm No, we were doing wetland core sampling, various different locations within a wetland, and what that translates to is we were mudding and slopping about.
I've definitely had that.
It's also humid, so like your sweat doesn't evaporate, and then the day after, or well, no, it was the same day that my school had Neil Shubin as a guest speaker, the guy who discovered tiktaalik.
Okay.
I met him covered elbow deep, knee deep, just flannel, khaki, and wetland muck.
Yeah, no, being in the humidity sucks.
Yeah, not to mention all the sweat. This last year, at the very least, we learned I have a thing called my butterfly wings, where if it's a really hot day and I wear a black shirt, I have salt crystals precipitate out on my back in a wing-like pattern. So that's the downside of sweat actually evaporating.
I mean, you could harvest the salt for later if you want.
And do what with it?
Make a salt lick.
I don't know, cook.
That feels cannibalistic.
I mean, are you against auto cannibalism?
Isn't that when a car eats another car?
No,
Pretty sure it is.
cars don't eat.
They do in Transformers.
Oh, that's a Decepticon. It's not a car. They just pretend to be cars.
No.
They're liars.
No.
I got bad news. It's in their name. They're deceiving.
No.
Sorry, Andy. I hate to be the bearer of bad news like this.
That's one thing that always got me with comics and shows and whatnot. Green Lantern's main villain is named Sinestro, and it's like, I feel like we could have seen he was gonna betray us.
That's very namist of you.
You don't know that guy is like alien culture. What if that's a perfectly
Yeah.
respectable?
What if that name means like good guy who won't betray me in his language?
This is my closest ally, Trittorio Deceivus.
Surely he would never get up to anything nefarious.
I feel like the Decepticons is just a self-fulfilling prophecy of a name.
Yeah, it kind of is.
I don't know. I mean, can you think about like a more honorable and like truth-telling Transformer than Starscream?
That's a good point.
Bryce, you're just saying that because you're basically a human version of Starscream.
We all know that's you, Andy.
No.
Brett confirmed.
So
Anytime-
like Bryce looks more like
anytime I
Starscream, but
tr-
Andy has more of the personality of Starscream.
What?
I remember actually this was actually a big deal. Remember when we were in Canada, Bryce, and we actually had to talk to Dustin about this.
Yeah.
And Andy was not happy with Dustin when Dustin said that Andy was the Starscream of the Montana Dinosaur Center.
I'm not the Starscream.
Very Starscream reaction right there.
No, I'm not Starscream.
Yeah, I remember this. And then he like said he was like some cool one, but he wasn't.
Yeah, Ironhide.
Ironhide, yeah, he wasn't Ironhide.
But this isn't an Ironhide kind of guy.
No, I'm very much Ironhide.
This guy's hide, not iron at all. He's more like leather hide.
You didn't just have to like call me out for having skin. Like,
Yeah.
wasn't expecting that to be the roast.
But Bryce has more of like a Starscream like look. Andy's more of a Starscream like vibe.
No, I'm very loyal.
You were talking about how when Dustin was gone, you were gonna be like the site manager for the day.
When?
That same day.
Yeah, one of the days when Dustin wasn't out in the field for some reason.
Literally, earlier day when we were in Canada, you were talking about how you're gonna put up random posters and things in the museum.
That's right. And you're like, I don't need to ask Dustin when he's not here. He'll just do it. Very Starscream energy.
What was that for?
It was a Minecraft chicken jock poster.
I don't remember that.
It was at Walmart in Canada.
It was actually moments before the Starscream debacle.
No, I'm not Starscream of the issue.
Well, dear viewers, leave it in the comment section. Is Andy Starscream?
Viewers, this is an audio.
Is Andy or Bryce more of a Starscream?
Wait, can you not like comment on Spotify? Is that not a thing?
Yeah, you can, but they're not viewers, they're listeners.
Listeners.
I mean,
All right, listeners. You see how Andy is like doing like a Starscream like vibe right now?
No.
Like, by being pedantic about listeners versus viewers.
That's not Starscream. He's not pedantic.
I rest my case. I mean, it kind of is.
Not really.
yes, Ironhide, known for his petting tree.
That's it, Bryce. I'm gonna feed you a nickel-plated knuckle sandwich.
Wow.
That's a Ironhide line.
That's a Starscream quote. You heard it
No.
here
Oh,
first.
it's Starscream.
No, it's an
Andy
Ironhide.
quoting Starscream.
No. God, I hope we get sponsored by Transformers. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to cut this out.
I mean, Transformers was like my favorite movie as a kid, like the 1980s one, of course.
Yeah, how they open with killing all your favorites.
I mean, it was kind of cool though. It had Weird Al in it.
It did. We Junkticons speak TV.
Well, that's not Weird Al.
But his song,
Weird
Dare
Al
to Be
comes later.
Stupid.
Yeah, that comes later.
Well, it's part of the Junkticon scene.
Yeah, but like later in that scene. Yeah, it is when they're on the junk planet though. That's true.
Thank you.
You know that was Orson Welles' last thing he did before he died?
Yeah, it's wasn't he like in his hospital bed recording it?
He did it. Yeah, he did it in his hospital bed. He was Unicron for anyone wondering. He's the one he's the big like planet-sized guy who eats planets. Was he ever in the Michael Bay Transformers?
I don't think so. Then again, I kind of stopped watching after the third one.
That's fair.
They got rough. So this is another thing we'll do is discuss a bunch of pop culture with the guests at the dig site, as well as educate. There was one time where I was trying to relate with a youngin, but his main point of reference was Sonic the Hedgehog. I was trying to compare all sorts of things to Sonic the Hedgehog, and I may have said that Alan Grant from Jurassic Park was the Sonic the Hedgehog of Jurassic Park. Anyways, the kid did not like that.
He actually hissed at you, Andy.
Yeah, no, he did. Be a Man song came on from Mulan, the original movie, not the much worse live action one. And he didn't really know what it was from, and I said, Mulan's kind of like if you took Sonic the Hedgehog and put him in ancient China and made him a woman, and apparently that didn't help either.
Yeah, he was not happy with Andy, that kid.
No.
No.
I thought it was a pretty clear picture what that meant.
I was not so clear on that.
Are you saying that Mulan didn't spin dash all over the invaders?
I mean, not really. Did you watch the movie? There was no spin dashing involved.
But she basically spin dashed. There was also the day where I had lost my voice the moment we got to the dig site this year.
Oh, that was funny.
Oh, that... And I just kind of communicated to the guests by typing in my notes app.
Andy had me come and like translate. He would like do like hand motions for me, and I would like have to like guess what he was saying, and then translate the guess. I was pretty good at it though, because I have a vibe of what Andy's trying to say.
Well, we live together, so you know.
Yeah, like Andy was like pointing at a bone, and then he was like pointing at like his thumb, and it's like, oh, you got to do the stick test.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like stuff like that.
That one was just an unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
That happened to you a couple times this year, didn't it? I thought there was also a, like one where like as soon as you got to the site when there was like multiple cars, you came over to me like Bryce, you gotta like teach the people about the fossils because I've lost my voice on our way over here.
It happened twice, but it was 2 days in a row,
That makes
I
sense.
see.
That
I
makes a lot of
see.
sense.
and that sucked.
I mean, I had that happen as well, where like I had like no voice because of so how dry it is, you know.
The site talks, the tours, but also running Dungeons and Dragons. It adds up.
I mean, it really does. You do a lot of talking when you're there. Some days I feel like we talk the whole time. Some days it's only most of the time.
There are some days where like, you and the guests get in the Zen rhythm, and 2 hours will go by and no one said anything, and you're like, "Oh, did you have any questions?"
That's true as well.
And they're like, "No, we're good." Part of this expedition is you can talk with a paleontologist, and they're like, "Oh, we're good." I feel like you get the whole gamut.
I mean, sometimes I'll literally be talking with guests. They'll be like asking me about like, oh, like what do you think of like cloning mammoths and stuff like that, and they'll be like talking to me like that kind of stuff all day. Just ask a bunch of different paleontology questions, just science questions in general, honestly.
This year there was a very common topic which was about the dire
Oh, the
wolves.
colossal and the dire wolf. Yeah, Andy, what tell us about that?
It's a fair question when the media presents a species being brought back from extinction. People are going to have questions. The issue is that didn't happen at all.
They were fed a lie.
Yeah, the media was incorrectly informed about de-extinction. What happened was genes from an extinct animal were sequenced into extant animals, which is really cool. It's a phenomenal first step in conservation.
A first of its kind thing done in genetics. That's to my knowledge, it hasn't really been done before in general for that one at least, which is fun.
No, it's a super cool first step,
Which is cool.
but it's not a de-extinction event.
They also use AI to generate osteograph figures for their paper, which is kind of funny. That's why you can see some of the bones don't look right, or some of them are labeled just flat out the wrong thing, or the lines are going to the wrong thing.
But yeah, they did not de-extinct dire wolf. They just modified a existing wolf to be more closely related to a dire wolf.
People were like, "Aren't you guys playing God? Isn't this something we shouldn't do?" I'm like, "We made big dogs. We've been doing that for thousands of years."
We do with plants a whole lot.
Yeah, people have been changing genes in dogs since 8,000 years ago, 8,000 BC, 10,000 years ago, I guess.
Like half the greens that are on your plate are all technically the same plant. It's just they've been have different parts of them, so made more prominent. Kale, broccoli, like, and a few other guys are all the same thing technically.
And at the end of the day, a big dog, it's not a zombie apocalypse. It's two big dogs that are being monitored because you don't just clone something and let it loose.
Yeah, they're in a lab. They're honestly going to be used by the company for like promotion and for marketing.
They actually did advertise that the next thing they're going to be trying to do is the Moa bird.
Oh, that's actually exciting. Moas are interesting animals.
I reckon it'll be more of the same at this rate.
Probably.
Likely so, yes.
It's a cool animal at least.
People would come in and they're like, "So they just invented something from Game of Thrones?" I'm like, "No, direwolves are real." And they're like, "No, they're from Game of Thrones."
Even before Game of Thrones, they were part of a lot of random like fantasy worlds.
Yeah. And they're different in those, sure, but it's based off of a real thing.
Yeah, people are often surprised because like they'll
Yeah.
hear like dire bears and like dire wolves and like all these dire animals, but like dire wolves are real. That's where the name comes from.
Kind of like seeing a mammoth and being, "Oh, that's just stealing from Skyrim."
Yeah, obviously they stole it from Ice Age actually. That came out first.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but interestingly, dire wolves are actually more closely related to like jackals and foxes than wolves.
Yeah, but once the name is there, it's really hard to change.
Yeah, but it's just a little thing that's kind of fun to learn.
It's kind of
Yeah.
funny.
Oh, yeah, the other thing with, like, discussions when people are like, "Why don't you change the name?" I'm like, "To what end?"
I mean, everyone already calls it that.
Dire fox doesn't sound as cool.
Dire jackal.
I mean, that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, I could work with Dire Jackal.
I can work with dire jackal. All right, Bryce, rename it to dire jackal. It's been decided.
All right, I'll get on it. I'll write into the zoological
Let
society.
the folks know. Everyone's got to change what they call it.
Brett, do you remember the time when Oh, no, it was the same day as the Bears. The porta potty got knocked over by the wind.
Oh, that sounds unfortunate.
Dude, it sucked. Part of my off-season duties that year was repairing and cleaning the porta potty.
That sounds like a good time. Did you enjoy it?
No, but I did get to turn on a power washer, so that was fun, I guess.
Sounds like the only fun part about that.
Playing Power Wash Simulator in real life.
Dude, I can't believe they made Power Wash Simulator, but in real life.
That's crazy.
I know, isn't that wacky? Listeners, let us know in the chat how many powers you've washed.
Well, how many have you?
I don't know. I'm not the chat. I'm one of the participants of the conversation.
True. Wait, so the bear's there and the porta potty's getting knocked over? That seems like just kind of an unfortunate day.
Yeah, there's a reason we left early.
You think the bear knocked over the porta potty?
No, it was the wind.
Oh,
But there was a participant using the porta potty, and the wind was bad, and we saw the bears, and we were trying to get everyone in the car, and then she got out, and then it blew over as she got into the van, and was, oh, if you were in there a moment longer.
that would have been horrible. Yeah,
Yeah.
made it out just in time.
So not only was it whipping wind, there were also grizz cubs, so, there was a reason why we left early.
When the wind is really bad, it can be unfortunate. Normally, the wind just helps keep it nice and cool.
I prefer the windless days.
Yeah, because I got a bunch of dirt launched into my ear and could not hear out of my ear for a couple days.
I tend to like the windy days. It never is like windy enough that it's like a problem. It tends to just like be nice, especially we're like mostly sheltered from it. Like,
It's not like we're ever seeing like kids get blown around in the wind.
Not yet. Maybe one day.
oh, that would be too much. That'd have to be a crazy wind. But we're in a like pit almost when we're digging. We're in a trench. Like,
Mm.
we're shielded from it. Sometimes you can be like down in the trench. You feel like a little bit of wind. And you're like, okay, whatever. Then you leave the trench and you're like, wait, it's actually really windy. You guys ever have that happen?
Yeah.
Once or twice, yeah.
The wind's a lot more of an issue if you're on the slope.
I do remember, this wasn't from our dig site, this was from our half-day one. A fella's got blown away, and Bryce, Naruto, runs after it, and in attempting to grab it, just tumbles, and I don't know why or how.
I don't know. I still think about that to this very day.
Like, you just biffed it hard.
It's like one of your like all-time blunders.
Still got the hat.
I mean, I can't deny that.
Great job. If you got the hat, then it doesn't matter like the downfalls he had along the way.
There's also a lot of times at the main dig, like the dig site, where like lunch bags or something will get blown away, and then I'll have to go sprint after them and hunt them down.
You don't
Yeah.
have to sprint, like, you're choosing that.
I mean, when it's windy, you kind of
You
have
have
to.
to sprint, or else it'll be gone forever. And like then
There's a
you're just
reason why I
littered.
go get them, but not you, Andy. You would never get them. You never catch them.
They
Just
stop.
'cause
Andy, we don't. If he walks after them, it'll get blown too far, and then he'll have littered.
Like, what am I to do when the wind blows it 70 feet away and gets caught in a plant, and then it's gonna get going again?
Well, then it gets caught in a plant and
would-
it's there.
No, but what if it wins again and then it comes out of the plant? Like that can happen. I've seen it
I
happen.
never
has.
have to
It's- I've-
sprint.
Well, how many bags did you collect this year that were blown asunder?
Plenty.
Oh, we had to go and collect debris bags down in the gully in like that other pit. You know, like the gully on the other side.
Yeah.
Like the one that we drive in by, not the like on the other side of the dig site. We went over there, Archie and I, and we collected like 5 buckets and like 10 debris bags that had been like ended up down there after like a really windy night.
Jeez
That had
Louise.
just like gotten like flung over there.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Like, cause our our bucket that had the bags in it got like blown over and like knocked aside, and they all like went over there. So we spent like probably like 20 minutes collecting all of them. So if you guys are interested in coming out to our dig site and potentially getting your own dig site stories to tell, you can actually sign up to come out for our digs next year. Our signups are currently available. We go out on digs from the beginning of June until the end of August. And where do you do those signups at, Andy?
You can do them at our website at tmdinosaurcenter.org, or you can call into our museum at 406-469-2211. We will be happy to help sign you up, but usually our website's the quickest and easiest.
And if you're interested in going to our dig site for our full day dig, that's the full day program. The half day program, you don't go to our dig site. It's more of a site tour of some older dig sites that are not currently active, but you get to see a lot. You get to learn a lot about dinosaurs. Both are fun.
Alrighty. Well, I think that wraps up this episode. I've been Andy,
I'm Brett still.
I will be Bryce.
and we hope you guys have a wonderful day.
Goodbye.
That's one conversation down, and there's millions more waiting for us out in the ancient dirt. If you want to join the crew on their next auditory adventure, subscribe to the Fourth Favorite Hat, the Montana Dinosaur Center podcast, available wherever podcasts are distributed. You can follow the museum on social media at TM Dinosaur Center, visit tmdinosaurcenter.org, or swing by the museum in Bynum, about 80 minutes north of Great Falls on Highway 89. Thanks for listening.